Where are we going tonight?
Tonight, we reveal the perfect old-fashioned recipe.
Stay tuned. What's up, Heather?
What's up, B?
Tonight we have an episode that is near and dear to our hearts.
That's right, because when we do mix good bourbon, we only do it with sugar, ice, and bitters.
You must be referring to an old-fashioned.
Oh, I am.
Well, remember, it is a gateway.
It was the gateway for me. So I remember several years ago, I was talking to you and saying that I had to learn how to keep up with you when it came to brown liquor. And you said, oh, I've got this. And you busted out the mixing glass, the bourbon, the ice, the sugar, and the simple, and the bitters. And it's been my go-to ever since.
Yeah, you met the Reverend Elijah Craig that
I
night.
did meet the Reverend Elijah Craig
So,
that day.
yeah, so it was my gateway as well. It's kind of like a gateway drink.
Kind of like a gateway drug.
But we're family friendly here. So it's a gateway drink. And yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity where you're for me, I had friends who were into bourbon before me, and they were drinking some pretty powerful bourbons, pretty expensive bourbon. Wasn't used to my Southern comfort palate. So it was a good way for me to be introduced to it, and I could start adjusting the sugar amount and the water amount and the ice amount, and that allowed me to start developing a palate. So really, I enjoyed it.
That's right. It's a great base drink to have. And like you said, it's really nice that you can adjust the sugar level to your preferred sweetness, the bitter level, etc.
That's right. And just like Mary Poppins said, a little sugar makes the medicine go down.
So you think Julie Andrews is an old-fashioned drinker?
I think Mary Poppins did absinthe.
Or LSD?
This is a family-friendly show. Let's move on. So, but anyways, yes, we're here to make old fashions because we control the strength, and it's a great foundational drink, and it's helped you learn a few things too.
That's right. It's really one to have in your repertoire that builds your confidence level, and then after you kind of master your old-fashioned recipe, you can move on to more complicated cocktails.
Yeah, using the muddler, for instance. It's something
That's right.
That
we know I'm the tortured bourbon muddler.
You
here.
are the official muddler of tortured bourbon. But being we are nerds,
we are.
It is now story time with B.
As always.
Because we're going to learn about the history of the old fashioned. There's actually been a whole book written about old fashioned. Can you believe that?
I do. Yeah. I believe it.
Robert Simpson, whose name I just already butchered. The author
I think it might have been Simonson.
Yeah. The author Robert Simonson has written a whole book on this, and as he shares, cocktails were originally simply bitters, a spirit, and some sugar. So there it is, and that's all they were. But the problem was around the 1870s. Whiskey and other spirits in the United States, well, that label becomes very interesting because it's very laissez-faire, as we've discussed before, and just pretty much anyone was putting anything in a bottle, calling it brown and saying it's whiskey. So the whiskey value goes down quite a bit. The taste goes down quite a bit. So you see barkeeps starting to add fruit and other things into mixes to actually cover up the taste of the whiskey.
That's right. And you have taught us in previous episodes that actually is part of what led to the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897. So we needed a little bit of federal regulation on these things.
Yeah, Ralph Nader was around. And in 1897, we get the Bottled and Bond Act to protect the
consumer.
You
really are a nerd.
Yeah, so anyway, so we've talked about Bottled and Bond. And what that did is to not sum up check out our previous episodes on Bottled and Bond. But what this does is it tells people, okay, it's going to be 100 proof. This is going to be, you might not like the taste, but it is certain quality. And when that starts happening, people start coming back to the bars and saying, hey, I want my drink in the old-fashioned way.
Right.
And at that time, they're actually referring to any spirit. In 1862, you see it mentioned in Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide How to Mix Drinks, is that it's any base spirit, but he usually used gin, and with these products. But then, when you go to Louisville, Kentucky, there was a club called the Pedennis Club. Say that 3 times fast. And either George Kapler or James Pepper, they are attributed to coming up with the first whiskey drink. And
we owe them a debt.
We owe them a debt because they take the typical old-fashioned, they add whiskey, they add an orange or lemon peel, and you have the old-fashioned, which is basically the most popular most popular drink in a bourbon bar when you walk in today.
I would argue it's one of the most popular drinks anywhere.
Absolutely.
And so what do we have next then?
Well, there's lots of ways to make an old-fashioned, but there's 3 main ways.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more popular ways now is to use a mix,
right,
which you're going to tell us about in a second.
Yes.
So we're going to make one with a mix. Here at Casa de Rooster, we use simple syrup. So we make a homemade simple syrup. We mix it with simple syrup. And then you have the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way,
where
yes.
you're going to muddle a sugar cube for us.
Yes, I am.
And then we're going to taste them and see what's the best way.
That's right.
But we have a surprise.
We do. So to keep it all equal, we're going to garnish each of them with a cherry and a peel, an orange peel. But then we have a special guest, master taster here, to decide which of the old-fashioned recipes are the best.
We go to great lengths for our viewers.
We do. All the way to North Hills.
All the way to North Hills.
So first, we're going to start with the mix.
Absolutely.
And we're using, it's a pretty nice mix. It's proof. It was about $15 for the little bottle, but that makes several cocktails.
Several.
We tend to not use mixes around here, other than we gatekeep a very good margarita mix. But other than that, we typically make things from scratch. But we recognize that mixes have become very prevalent on the market, so we wanted to give that a try. So it's really simple. It's half an ounce of the mix, which is a lovely pink color, which I appreciate. And then it is 2 ounces of bourbon. And it's that easy. So then we're going to mix that together. We're going to pour it over a large ice cube in a highball glass. And then we're going to garnish with our orange peel and our cherry. All right, and that is recipe number 1.
Recipe number 1. And let's be honest, it doesn't get much simpler than that.
No, that if you're making a big batch for a bunch of people, that's the way to go.
Here at Casa de Rooster, the way that we've been doing this is we use 3 ounces of bourbon. And for everyone, we're using, in all of them tonight, Old Granddad, bottled in bond, 100 proof. This was on one of our previous shows. Check it out. It's a little spicy.
It's only $19.95, so it's a good bang for your buck.
There you go. We then add in 1 ounce of simple. So obviously this has got a little kick to it, which is how we like it around here. 3 dashes of bitters. Then stir it up. Put your hand on it. You'll notice when it gets chilled. Now, hold on. If I could have an orange peel.
Oh, I forgot.
We're supposed to express it.
How does one express an orange peel?
Carefully.
Oh, is it a secret? It's a secret talent.
Secret talent. You just drop that in there.
Now, are you ready for your garnish?
Ready for the garnish.
Now that looks like a Casa de Rooster Old Fashioned.
That is a Casa de Rooster Old Fashioned.
All right. Finally, we have the Old Fashioned way.
Fantastic. How are we going to do that?
All right. Well, B, do you remember the Old Fashioned? You had the Old Fashioned way before the Springsteen concert last year?
I almost don't remember the Springsteen concert because of that.
I was wondering if you did. That was made the Old Fashioned way.
Very much.
So first, we're going to start with a sugar cube. We're going to add that into the mixing glass. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of water.
There you go.
And then I'm going to add just 1 dash of bitters, which is slightly less than we add in our typical Old Fashioned. All right, and now I'm going to muddle this with my patented muddling technique here
for
on
60 seconds.
Orchard Bourbon for a whole minute. All right, so we've been muddling for 60 seconds.
Give or take.
Give or take a minute. So we're going to add in 2 ounces of whiskey or bourbon. All right, and then we're going to mix it. Just making sure the sugar is dissolved. All right, and now we are going to strain it into a glass with an ice cube. All right, and then we are going to add our garnish. And right off the bat, I noticed that this one is a different color than the other two.
Just a little bit.
Less bitters.
Just a little bit.
So now we have all 3 recipes. We have the mixer, We have the Casa de Rooster. And then we have the old-fashioned way.
Now, just on looks, I would drink any of those if you served them to me in a bar.
Oh, I wouldn't turn any of them down.
None of them.
No, not
So
at all.
now we're going to ask a very special guest to come up with us. Miss Terry, would you join us?
Yes.
So, Miss Terry, what makes you an expert on old fashions?
I've had a lot of experience
You've had
drinking them.
Oh, have you? Fantastic. Occasionally, you allow me to mix you an old fashioned when you come over to Casa de Rooster.
Yes.
And I've noticed at several of your warm events that we have at your nice home that we have bourbon drinks as well.
Yes, we do.
Now,
Okay.
B is understating. Miss Terry is the hostess with the mostest.
That's right.
And so if you want a solid old-fashioned at someone's house, you're going to find it at Miss Terry's house.
So, Miss Terry, we have 3 of these for you, and if you would simply sample them and tell us which one you like the best, no pressure.
All right.
There's no right answer.
And this is...
We're not going to tell you.
Oh. Good to remember. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not
Okay.
bad. All right.
Okay. Lot better. I
Okay.
love the orange. Expressed.
Ah. She can taste the express.
She can taste the expression. Is that like James Bond, shaken, not stirred?
Probably
Expressed,
something.
not just placed.
Well, that one's good too, but it's doesn't blend as well together for me as the middle.
So the middle is using simple.
Simple
Yes.
syrup.
So using simple. This one was the mix. So if you had a 1, 2, and 3 them, how would you do that? Like which one
I
would be
would
your first, second,
probably
and third?
go 1, 2, 3.
Okay, fantastic.
But I have a sweeter taste,
Uh,
and that has less sweetness to it.
fantastic.
That makes a lot of sense because that's just the sugar cube.
Well,
One
being
sugar
this,
cube.
being this one was your favorite, we'll allow you to keep this one.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
right.
We'll take this one,
I'll take the old fashioned.
Okay.
and we'll just do our simple. Thank y'all for joining us tonight, and cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers,
Thanks for coming on, Miss Terry.
Thank you.